All right, so evidently my mic had been muted. I'm not sure what happened here, but my mic was off, so that was kind of weird. But anyway, we are back. And again, please follow us anywhere on social media. Thank you so much for doing so. Again, follow us anywhere on social media, and we'll love to have you there. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened with my mic initially. We were not having any volume. So please, for those of you who are listening to us, forgive me, but our volume went whackety, whackety, whack. So anyway, hopefully we'll have you guys back on again to listen to us. Those who are listening, remember, follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports and number 7, or follow me personally at Minister J Sam. All right, we'll get to it right now. Like I said, sorry again for those of you who are listening. So I couldn't hear nothing. My mic was accidentally muted. You know, anytime we do the sports show, we bring on one of the most beautiful ladies in the world of sports talk, radio, or TV. We simply know her by the name of the Queen. Miss Tree Dolman is back in the building. Welcome back. See if I can get her here. Let's try it again. Welcome back. There we go.
Hey, Jonathan. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Tree, how you doing?
Doing all right? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'd be doing better if my fingers were working better, but that's okay. We're getting there. Gotta click the buttons with your finger and make sure the button has been pressed all the way down, or else you cannot activate your volume. And I think somebody's going to tell me right now on social media, hey, your volume be off. Yep. We got Lil Breezy. Giving a big shout out there to AJ Griffin. Lil Breezy, you're about 10 minutes away from hearing more, actually less than that, hearing about our Atlanta Hawks. And AJ Griffin balled out last night. He surely did. Well, Tree, how'd you enjoy your weekend?
I've been working.
Working.
Yeah, so
Working day and
as
night.
you know, I'm preparing for my turkey giveaway with one of my nonprofit organizations, Making a Better Me Incorporated. Last year, we gave 100 families boxes with turkeys and all of the trimmings in it, and all of the kids of the families got drawstring bags. And this year, we're doubling it up. We're giving 200 families boxes with turkeys and all the trimmings, and the kids will get drawstring bags.
Now, that is incredible. I mean, that's really great. We're excited about that and excited about what you're doing there. Now, is this something you do every year?
This is an annual event, yes.
Okay, there you go. Well, yeah, it's great because I mean, especially now, because we really kind of take it for granted. But really, there is some difficulties right now for people getting food. And the economy has really taken a toll on people. I mean, I know when I go into supermarkets, I am stunned at where the cost of food is today. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh man, how are you gonna make this work? I mean, a loaf of bread like $5 and $6. I mean, come on, how's that gonna work? Well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, it's
thank you.
very true.
So
Yes,
thumbs
and
up.
if anybody wants to donate or help any families for this Thanksgiving, you can make a donation. It's tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You can go to makingabetterme.org and you can click on the donate button and donate if you want to donate and help families feed their families for Thanksgiving dinner. So,
So it's making it better
really excited.
me.org. I'm gonna try to get that up on the site so we can see that. I just have the title "Making a Better Me," but I'm gonna go ahead and put that in so you guys will know it's makingabetterme.org, O-R-G. So you can go ahead and go in and, like you said, just click the button and where it says donate, and voila, you have the donation going forward
Yeah,
right there and right now. Well, hopefully,
very
our
cool.
champion, Mr. Tyrone Poole, will be joining us shortly here because there's breaking news coming from the NBA. That was kind of going to be a little bit of our hot topic, talking about our man Kyrie Irving that apparently is going to retire. So I'm not sure if he's backed off of that yet, but you know, he's made some statements out there in the public that people have felt that they might be a little insulted by. I'm not quite sure, but evidently, I guess he's tired of the pushback. You know, he's also a guy that was an anti-vaccine guy as well. So yeah, Kyrie Irving, the rumblings was that he might retire if he has not already done so from the New Jersey Nets, which would certainly throw those guys into a tailspin. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, your coach leaves and now your star player, kind of crazy. Yeah, definitely kind of crazy. Well, anyway,
Mhm.
you know, like I said, lots of stuff kind of going on and rumbling around. The other thing that was very interesting. Let me go to my topics here, guys. Because again, while I'm taking a little break in the action, looking up our topics, I'm going to ask you guys to please follow us on social media and go to our page on YouTube. And there it is, right there. There's information. Subscribe, please, ma'am, please, sir. We greatly appreciate if you would come on and and subscribe on our YouTube page. We are now, for the first time, over, drum roll please, we're over 600 subscribers. So, Tree, the good news about that is that we are now less than 400 subscribers away to getting to the magical 1,000 subscribers. And then that we are halfway home to being able to actually get some monetization on our YouTube videos. So, we are excited about that. So, please, guys, go ahead and subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. All right, did you get a chance to watch any of the World Series?
No,
No, but you are what the Astros won, right?
I am aware of that. Yes.
So,
I may not watch the games, but I keep up to date with sports.
well, of course, the good news is about that is our man Dusty Baker. Big shout out and kudos to Dusty Baker, who at age 73 won his very first World Series title, either as a coach, player, or a manager. So, big shout out to Dusty Baker. I mean, that guy. And great thing about it, he's managed some of the great teams in MLB history. They just couldn't seem to, get over the hump. Remember last year they lost out to the Braves. Many years ago, probably about 20 or 30 years ago, he coached a giant team that won 102 games, and that was back when they didn't have the playoffs. So he ended up not even getting to the playoffs. So yeah, Dusty Baker, a great manager, one of the all-time greats. Kudos to him. A guy who kind of came up in an era where, baseball was just beginning transition out of, I shouldn't say baseball, the nation transitioning out of a time where brown people weren't necessarily accepted in all areas. So again, kudos to Dusty for going through all that stuff. Former teammate of Hank Aaron back in the day with the Braves, and Dusty's done it. First champion at 73. How cool is that?
That is cool.
That gives the preacher hope. Doggone it. I was like, hold up. I might be getting me some kind of ring or something. Championship ring, wedding ring. I don't know, something.
I was about to say championship ring. Don't you have to play or coach a sport to get that?
Well, I'm just saying anything's possible. I don't know.
Okay.
I might listen. They might give me a ring like for being a nice guy.
Yeah, no, you don't. You actually have to be affiliated with the team. Now, if you go join a team as a manager or some type of media person for a team, hey, there you go. Then you can get a ring.
Maybe I can be the assistant chaplain when the Falcons win.
There you go. Then you can get a ring. Yes. Now you're thinking. I love it. That is possible.
I'm just saying.
I like the shades. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. These are my. Let me just kind of zoom in here a little bit here. These are
nice.
These are my new shades.
Yeah, those are nice. I like the new shades.
I spent a little extra money there. Got some new shades. I'm just saying. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm known for my frugality. So originally, I was getting my shades from the dollar store.
Oh, really? Well, they didn't look like it.
Well, I did the best I could, and then I actually got some at the golf tournament. Those are my blue ones. But now I spent a few shekels and got some ones that actually have some style and presence. So thank you, Tree, for noticing that.
Those are stylish. They're very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. So yeah, so it's the other thing I wanted to ask really briefly, since we're on the topic of baseball. What do you think about the idea? The Hall of Fame, and because your husband is a member of the NFL Hall of Fame, and we've talked about this football Hall of Fame. So we talked about this periodically about what the requirements are, what the standards are for the Hall of Fame. So now, once again, in baseball, the question is should guys that played in the steroid era, aka Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, guys like that, it's now once again a time for the induction to happen or the voting to happen. Should these guys finally be inducted in the Hall of Fame? Because if we look at their career before the steroids, they still were dominant players. What do you think?
So you say the steroid era, right?
Yes.
If
right. So baseball,
is caught taking steroids, no, in my opinion, they should not. I don't care how great you were. You don't know how long they were taking steroids before they got caught, right? And with me being an athlete, I didn't put so many things in my body. I didn't even want to take Tylenol if I had a headache, because I don't think that that's fair that you get players like myself who are clean and want to stay clean and play the game with integrity in the right way. And then you get players that are cheating. That's what steroids are. They're cheating. So, no, in my opinion, they should not be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is for the greatest, and it's for the greatest that have been clean. When you cheat, you don't really win, in my opinion. So I'd rather win and be honest than cheat and win, because you really lose when you cheat. So in my opinion, no, I do not think that anyone that was caught taking steroids should be in the Hall of Fame.
But
What's
keep
your
in mind,
opinion?
keep in mind, technically Barry Bonds was never caught. Technically, he had all the body evidence to appear that he had taken steroids, but they never actually caught him, and he never actually admitted to taking them. And I think Roger Clemens might
Well,
be
again,
right.
mhm.
Go ahead. Mhm.
Oh no, I was saying, if I said anyone who was caught,
Caught. Got you.
so if he was not caught, then he doesn't fall under the category that I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of those who were actually tested and caught. Anyone who was caught should not be in it, in my opinion. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There you go. Well, in case of Barry Bonds, we're going to kind of take a look at his career really quickly and look at some numbers before, quote unquote, it appeared that he had begun taking steroids. A lot of people are thinking that Bonds might have got involved in steroids somewhere around the year 2000, or maybe right after that, when all these guys are bopping home runs. And they say it might have been as early as 1998. That's when the big, rush for hitting 60 homers. And that's when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa had their epic battle, where Sosa, I think, hit 67 and McGwire hit, I think, 70. So before that, Barry Bonds had already won, I think it was either 2 or 3 MVP awards before the
Mhm.
alleged taking of steroids. And he had had at least a
So
decade of
if
being
they never caught him, then why do they think he took steroids? Just because he was good?
well, no, because I mean, physically, I mean, to be very candid, there was even some talk for a split minute about Tiger Woods, because what happens is when you take steroids is that your body physically changes quite a bit. And Barry Bonds went from this lean kind of guy, and I know, hey, when you age in baseball, we saw Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron physically was not as lean as he was in his quote unquote prime years. But Barry Bonds, I mean, it looked like it was a dramatic shift. He went from being this lean guy, the hair and the mustache, also being kind of the balding guy, kind of bulky. And these are, I guess, some of the signs of steroids. And he went from being a
Well,
guy. Go ahead.
mhm. Oh no, so I was gonna say, but people do also realize that that's also the sign of working out in the gym. I mean, hello, right?
Yeah,
That's
like I said,
that's that's a big sign. Now, when people are taking steroids, a lot of times their voices get high pitched or different things like that. But just because someone is bulking up doesn't mean they're taking steroids.
okay, Todd's correcting me. He said, actually, he said, preacher, he did get caught, admitted using some type of cream. So,
Oh, okay. So he did get caught.
right. So,
Well, if he got caught and admitted, or even if he didn't admit, but if he got caught, then in my opinion, he should not be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm sorry for cutting you off. Please go ahead and finish.
no worries. No. So, I mean, to me, I'm putting the guy in because his numbers were just, I mean, if I just look at his first 8, 9, or 10 years, which clearly he was not on steroids at that point, yeah, the guy was just a monster. Like you said, every year an
Well,
all
how do you
star.
know?
Well, no, well, technically we don't know. Technically we don't
Exactly.
know. But I mean, all the evidence physically, he did not, at least quote unquote, look like anybody taking steroids. So yeah, so for me, I'm like, put the guys in. Baseball kind of knew what was going on. They were trying to bring baseball back after the strike. They knew some shenanigans were going on with the baseball, some shenanigans were going on with steroids. So to me, the guys that are more culpable, I'm not, listen, don't get me wrong. You know, I think that you shouldn't, to some degree, if you're going to do what you did to Marion Jones, you kind of have to do the same thing to guys in baseball. Because Marion Jones, Olympian, as you know, got caught doing something. I mean, she got stripped of everything. So well, anyway,
Yeah, which
that's
she should have.
right. So anyway,
I
that's gonna be
mean,
a hot topic.
you're going, and first I want to say something what you said, where you say didn't look like he was on steroids. That you can't look like you're on steroids, right? There's so many people who take steroids that people would never have a clue, and men, women. So it's not like you can look at somebody and say, "Oh, they look like they're on steroids." That you just can't. everybody's body is made differently. And like I said, even when you spend time in the gym working out 5-6 times a week and working out the right way, because there's a way that you can work out and lift weights to gain muscle. And so all of that is just weight training. So you can't just say people look like they're on steroids. But back to the Marion piece. Yeah, she got stripped and she should have gotten stripped. You know how many people competed in the Olympics
Oh yeah.
who did not take steroids, who if she would not have taken steroids probably would not have won. So yeah, she should have been stripped of her medals. And again, I just think it's horrible that so many people cheat and take steroids. I just don't agree with cheating. I don't. I've never have. My teammates used to get upset at me in volleyball because I would tell the ref in volleyball that I touched the ball. If he called no touch on the block, and if I was blocking and if I barely tapped it, and I would look at him and say, I did touch it. And my teammates would say, Tree, stop doing that. I was like, well, I'm an honest person. And they say, yes, but his job is to call the game. You can't just tell. But the point is, I don't like cheating. Okay. I can't stand cheating in any type of sport, professional, amateur, but especially when you're in the Olympics or you're talking about Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is like for the greatest of the greatest. My husband is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He never took any drugs. He never did anything like that. And he was big on taking care of his body and doing things the right way. Those are the type of people who need to go into the Hall of Fame, not those who feel that they have to cheat or take all of these enhancements, because really what you're saying when you do that, you don't even think you're good enough. And that's why you're taking these things to enhance your body, because you don't even feel worthy. So why should other people vote you into the Hall of Fame when you yourself don't even think you're good enough without cheating?
Well, this is why you call it a hot topic, boys. We can go around with this a long time. So now we are running way over the time of our commercial break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go nowhere.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
All right, guys, we're back here listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, watching the Real Talk Sports Show. Appreciate each and every one of you who are doing so, especially to our new listeners who have come back to us on WIGO, the legendary WIGO 1570 AM here in the Metro Atlanta area. All right, you guys know that every second Tuesday of the month is officially Jonesboro Tuesday. So we're going to go to the green room. I believe we have the team from Jonesboro here. First, the head coach, Timothy Floyd, is in the building. Coach, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. And I think you also have another one of your coaches, the ultimate social media man himself. Coach Sir is in the building.
How's it going?
What's going on, sir? I believe you have a couple of players. First of all, Mr. John Tavius, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Jamar, are you there? I can see him. Jamar, is your mic on? Jamar? I think Jamar's mic is off. We'll get back to him eventually once he get that mic on. I can see him. Nice looking fella, isn't he? Yep. Yeah, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Nope, still can't hear you. Can you hear us? He's checking something. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get back to him in a little bit. All right, Coach. I'm sure not the exact way you wanted the season to end, but nevertheless, moving up. And how was it dealing with the challenges of moving up to a whole nother class in high school football?
It was most definitely a challenge. We moved up to 6A this year, and it was just different. But like I always tell the guys and the coaches, who's ever on the schedule, we're gonna lie down and we're gonna play. But it most definitely had its challenges.
Was it just the some of these schools, you're talking 6A. Tell people these designations 6A, how many students would your high school have to be in the 6A category?
I would think maybe around 14, 15, 1600, somewhere in there, I think. And I think we kind of got caught up in the multiplier, which kind of boosted us up from 5A to 6A.
A multiplier. What's
Yeah,
what's that?
when you have students that's not zone for you, but in zone enrolled in your school, they count as three students, and that
Whoa.
kind of yeah that's the population, and that determines your classification.
Now, do they do that to try to uh, try to prevent people from recruiting and bringing kids from other districts? That kind of what they do, to almost penalizing you, saying, okay, if you're going to start bringing kids in, we're going to do that. I mean, why would they? Why would they hit you with a multiplier? I don't get it.
I would say the short, safe answer would be yes, and I think it was kind of targeted at a specific school, what types of schools, and a lot of complaining from a lot of complaining from certain schools about other schools, and we just kind of got caught in the middle of
Yeah. Mm.
it.
Well, you see, folks, I got my shades on because that's a topic we might have to talk about that at another time. Let's see if we can get Jamar back on here. Let's see. I see him in the green room. All right, young man, you there?
Yes.
Hup! We got him. We got him, coach. He's in the building. All right, so I'm gonna ask both of your players here. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to Tree. Tree, you have a question for either the coaches or the young men?
You go ahead first. But thanks.
No. Go ahead. Ladies first.
Well, hello, everyone. John Tavius, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your position, your number, and what did you learn most from this season?
I played quarterback on number 16, and this year was like a challenging season because it was not like only my first year, but it was time where like we was down, and then like we'd come back, but it's like towards the end of the season, like we just gave up.
Okay. Same question for you, Jamar.
My name is Jamar. I play safety, number 36. I learned stay consistent, keep working, stay.
Love it.
Well, Coach, for you, Coach, if I'm correct, you coach the linemen. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you feel in terms of what was the number one thing that you felt? Hey, you know what? We kind of grew in this area, and what was the one thing that you would think, hey, going into next year, you really want to try to improve on?
I think this year we grew into lining down and just moving people out the way. We had 3 seniors this year, and they all played 2 or 3 years, so that was big for us. I think next year losing them are gonna be a big task. We got 2 returning that played last year, but finding those other 2 or 3 is gonna be a task.
So you're pleased overall with what you saw, but you're thinking, man, I got the cupboard might be bare next year.
Yeah, yeah.
Coach, how about you? What were kind of 1 or 2 takeaways for you to say, hey, you know what, I'm really happy with my team here, and then what would be 1 or 2 things you could say, look, we want to build on this as we go into next year?
Well, I think we had a lot of challenges this year, kind of bringing in a lot of new faces into the program. The limited number of seniors that had experience. So, but I think through it all, we had a lot of guys that gained a lot of experience. We actually had, I think, seven freshmen offensively and defensively that end up being starters for us. So, and throw in another 3 or 4 sophomores. So that was huge for those guys to get experience. So we're most definitely looking forward to building off of that. A lot of kids coming back with actual varsity experience this year. Well, next year, which is going to be a plus for us.
I think we have a young man who knows a little bit about football. He is a not one but two-time Super Bowl champion, played for over a decade in the NFL, and is a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame, and all-around good guy. Mr. Tyrone Poole is in the building. Welcome back, sir.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hope everybody doing well. All those who are watching as well. Thank you for tuning in. Real Talk Sports. How you doing, Jonathan Tree? Coaches, players. Hope everybody's well.
Doing well.
All right, all right, all right.
Well, Tyrone, I'm not sure. We saw you in the green room kind of in there. Did you get a chance to listen a little bit? And then the other question is, do you have a question for the coaches or the players for Jonesboro High School?
Yeah, I was listening and I did hear a little bit of what was happening. You know, I have coached in the high school. I have coached in middle school. My question for you, Coach, I don't know, maybe this question was asked, maybe it wasn't, but I apologize if it was. What does your feeder system look like? What is your feeder system? What do you guys run like the middle school? Do they run the same type of plays that you guys are running in high school? I did hear you say about the transition. Do you guys do something like that to make that transition easier for the kids so that it puts you on that winning streak faster? Or do you guys let the coaches in middle school, kind of like, okay, just how you guys see football?
Well, we actually don't have a true feeder system. The middle schools that's feed into Jonesboro, MD Roberts, which split into two different high schools. Then we have Jonesboro Middle, which split into two different high schools, and we may get one or two kids from other schools around the county. So, that's one of the challenges that we face, and trying to figure out some kind of solution for it.
Well, I can already give you a solution. You need to come on up to Marietta, Georgia. Come on up to Marietta, Georgia, and come on to Level 38 Training Academy. And yeah, I'll teach your kids what you want taught and teach them technique that will help take them to the next level and your program to the next level. So that's Level 38 Training Academy now. All right.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about here. We'll show a little picture. That's a little promotional picture right there. Tyrone Poole.
Hey.
That's more of his speaking engagements. We want to throw that up there, though. But as you can see, he got them 2 rings to let you guys know that he can, in fact, help you grow and learn and be more successful. And Tyrone, I know that I'm trying to get the film up. Tyrone has sent me over a clip of him actually doing some press coverage on defense. And wanted to talk a little bit about how that can really help. Coach, either one of you guys, do you guys use much of kind of one-on-one type defense? Or you say, hey, man, we kind of stick to mostly a zone? Actually, well, let me slow down. I forgot from watching Arthur Smith. He's like, I ain't gonna talk about scheme. So I don't know. Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Well, we do a little bit of both zone and man coverages, kind of depending on the game plan that week and kind of depending on personnel we have that year. And I think this year I think we had a pretty good balance this year going back and forth between the two. Well, we did have our struggles with some of the zone coverages, so at times we were more man, but overall, I think we kind of balanced out pretty well with the two.
Well, no doubt. I think that there's some opportunities, hopefully, to grow and help the county grow. We want to certainly be a part of, really just helping young people just get better. So hopefully we're working with Tyrone and with you and see if we can kind of, add a little spice to the flavor of that meal over that y'all be serving at Jonesboro. Yes, sir. Tree, any more questions for the coaches? I know you talked to the players. How about questions for the coaches?
Yeah, I do. So with the young players that you have that have varsity experience, I know that it's early, but what are your thoughts going into next season with that you would think having so many young players with varsity experience? How do you think that's going to really help your team going forward?
I think it's going to help out a lot because starting with John Tavius and Jamar, they actually learned a lot and grew quite a bit, throughout the season, and both had pretty good years that we're excited about. Um, and I think them actually getting that experience under the lights on Friday it's just huge. Seeing different looks, picking up the speed of the game, the the practice schedule, balancing the school and personal life, all of that stuff kind of go into it. And with them being able to get that experience, I think that's just been that's huge.
Love it. And I must say that I love how you guys are all dressed. Love it.
Got to represent. Got to
Represent.
represent.
Yeah, they're all representing. I love it.
I'm gonna put Coach Floyd on the spot. Coach Floyd, I know y'all got your banquet coming up now. Y'all got a speaker for your banquet?
We don't. We actually look for speakers that pro bono speakers.
Hey, look for the boosters. What a boosters. What a boosters. What a boosters.
That's a whole nother story there.
But you know what though, Coach? I mean, and we getting ready to close the segment. That is one thing that you know we want to hopefully get with the coaches at some point before next year and really seriously sit down with some of the coaches and some of the parents because you know just from kind of looking from the outside in and from doing like coverage around Metro Atlanta, if I had to say kind of what some of the disadvantages are, that's really it. It seems like on the South Side we don't have some of the same booster clubs and parent. And no, don't get me wrong, parents are involved, but in terms of being able to help raise funds and do other things that can help improve the program. At least I'm not aware of any type of group here on the South Side that really kind of does that. And I'd love to see if we can be a part of on the real making that work for you.
Jonathan, you made me think Coach Floyd's situation is the same situation that some of these HBCUs face. So it's just Coach Floyd is in high school with the problem, and HBCUs like Fort Valley State and Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, we're just on the next level up. So like you said, people, they love to complain about stuff not getting done, but they don't want to help get things where they need to be. So I feel your pain, Coach Floyd. I experienced the same thing at Fort Valley State. So like I said, it's just a principle that's working on operation at your level, but it's the same principle that I've seen and faced, and we still face at HBCUs.
No doubt. I'm gonna see if I can get a little clip of this, Mr. Tyrone Poole. I'm gonna try to see if I can share this screen and make this work for us here before we get out of here. Because I want you guys to kind of see a little bit of this. So let's see if I can get the screen to share properly for me. Let's see here.
And I appreciate that, Jonathan. And Coach, what you're about to see, just how I sum it up. Again, I'm a person. I'm a technician. That is what helped me. And I'm a person that basically helped players on and off the field. But technique will help you make plays, and technique will keep you making plays. It's about sustainability, consistency, and you can only do what you know. So the student is only as good as the teacher, and the teacher is only as good as the experience that the teacher has been exposed to.
Let's see if we can get a little bit of this clip here. This is a YouTube clip of Tyrone doing his thing.
Second and 3.
Go that up, Jonathan.
Blitz. Near side, the pass bounced into the air and falls incomplete. Thinkman, the intended receiver, and Tyrone Poole is with it.
See, I look at a play like that. I know it's Yancey Thinkman. Tyrone Poole, excellent coverage, looks for the football, then almost makes the play on it. But I look to the other side. There's Kevin Dyson. Nobody covering him, way off. And they said they wanted to attack Jeff Burris, number 20. So why throw it Poole? You should have gone to
Technique, guys. Technique. That's being taught year after year after year. So I'm like, I tell people, man, I wish somebody had taught me that in high school, taught me that in college. I learned it as I got into the pros. So my thing is I'm trying to give it back to these kids, and especially with NILs, man, NILs. The more information and technique they can learn now, the more they can start putting themselves out there to make money with their talent. So that's the one thing I want to achieve.
We got two young DBs on the camera with us tonight, on film with us tonight. Hope they're paying attention.
They look pretty excited, no doubt about it. Well, look, guys, we appreciate you guys as always as coming on and being with us. And again, we want to not just talk a game, we want to do it. And so it's for us, it's been in stages. Coach will tell you, we first met, we just were trying to come over to the camera and get a few little clips. And coach was like, who this guy coming over here trying to film about practice? But then over time, we were able to actually get some game footage. And then thankfully, about 3 or 4 years ago, we were able to get with the county itself and actually do the live stream broadcasting of the games. And coach, I want to give a shout out to all the Jonesboro parents and the supporters who took time out to actually come up to the booth where we shoot and tell me in person, sir, we appreciate your broadcast. We like it. They told me stories like with your family during the COVID that couldn't get out. I had another story of a grandmother who had COPD. She could not go out at all, and she talked about how she enjoyed watching the games. So again, we appreciate being able to be a part of Jonesboro High School, and then again, big shout out to the Jonesboro MMC for making the trip down to Jackson State and bringing, I think it was 300 cases of water or something like that. It was more than what they originally had targeted. So we appreciate you, man, and appreciate all the stuff you guys have done over this football season.
Thank you. Could I add something real quick?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Actually, speaking of MMC, they have a drumline competition this Saturday at the school. I think it started at 3 o'clock, and we also have a basketball game at the school this Friday, starting at 6:30.
Well, Coach, we're going to try to peek our heads in there at the basketball game or the Battle of the Bands. And I want to tell you guys, listen, please support the independent live streamers that do some of these high school football games. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the big. Well, I will mention there's a bigger group called, I think it's called the uh, National High School Football Stream. They do some stuff, but there's a couple of independent guys, myself and two other guys that focus really pretty much on the South Side. And what we do is we actually provide a lot of this stuff at no charge. So please help support us, and so we can continue to be out there. All right, there you go, guys. Social media right there at JHS Cardinal Football on the gram and at JHS Cardinal FB on Twitter. All right, gentlemen, any final words from the Jonesboro Cardinals?
No, I like the dog in the background, Miss Dolman.
Thank you.
That's the fabulous Sparkle, man. I mean, hey, Coach, I'm gonna tell you something. Like sometimes, like I be talking too much, and Sparkle, ah! And she let me know. All right. My mama got to speak now. Come on. All right, guys, listen. We appreciate you guys, and we look forward to having you guys back with us again real soon.
Thank you for having us. Go Burrow.
Right.
Thank you.
So long, guys. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a minute. Don't go nowhere. Thank you.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Okay, we're back here at the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the minister. Back out there, I'm in the screen. There we go. I'm back here with my two favorite people, the queen right next to me, Mr. Dolman, and the champion on the far right or far left, depending on you're watching, Mr. Tyrone Poole. Well, guys, it's always great seeing those guys from Jonesboro. And again, we are looking to support them more and more as time goes on. All right, let's talk about a little NBA basketball. How about them Hawks? I don't know if you guys got a chance to see them over the last 3 or 4 days, but they have basically been balling out. And Ms. Dolman, I know if you were at the game for the last game, we might have had to restrain you because it was big man basketball at its best as the Hawks, without Trae Young, demolished the Bucks 117-98, and it was the big man that really told the story. So I know, Trey, you would have been happy.
Showed out.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody. These guys were just. I mean, the first game, Clint had a huge game, 21 points, 19 rebounds, and then last night the Young Bucks got out there and showed their stuff. Mr. Okongwu almost made the building fall down. He had 2 dunks, but not just any dunks. Put back dunks on over a former MVP, Giannis himself. Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, just must see TV. All what you kind of wanted to see from the Hawks. That front line just refused to back down. And after going down in double digits in the first quarter, they were actually down 36-25. They played that defense and they clamped down and dominated the Bucks. So what do you think? You think it's a flash in the pan, or could this be the beginnings of what we expect to see from the Hawks, like a team that could like challenge for the Eastern Conference Finals? What do you think, Tree?
I mean, I definitely think that the Hawks, I've always thought that the Hawks are capable. I never have doubted the Hawks. I believe, that's what they had on their shirts. That's what they were promoting, is believe. And I do believe in the Hawks. I think that sometimes they just have spurts where they go up and down with it, but they definitely have the talent. I think they definitely have the ability to play for a Eastern Conference championship. And it just really depends on how much they stay locked in and loaded and how much they're going to focus on defense. But we know the offense is there. We just need them to be focused all 4 quarters. And we need them to start well, which they do a lot, but also finish well. Sometimes the Hawks will start playing really good basketball. I don't know what happens after they come out after halftime. I think when they get really large leads, they just get too excited and they don't come back out with that same fire in the second half. If they can actually start finishing more games, how they start more games, and realizing that each quarter is really tough, and start at 0-0 after halftime and always finish really, really hard in the fourth quarter, I think that we will see them playing for playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
Tyrone, what do you think? Flash in the pan with those Hawks, or you think that we might be actually seeing the beginnings of a Hawks team that can do at least what they did a couple years ago, get to Eastern Conference Finals?
Let me tell you what I like about the Hawks right now. Not only are they on a 3-game winning streak, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we talk about them 10 games, how you got to win high percentage. Well, the first 10 games, the Hawks are 7-3, man. Only the Bucks, I think the Bucks actually, they were 9-1 thanks to the Hawks. So not only do I love the fact that they're on a 3-game winning streak, they're 7-3, but I also like the fact that if they keep this up again, it's a long season. It's a long season. All right. But offensively, they are number 1 in scoring. So you don't believe me? Go check it out. So again, in today's sports, it's all about putting up a lot of numbers and just doing enough on defense to get a couple of defensive rebounds, create a couple of turnovers. But as long as you can keep that offensive juggernaut going, then yeah, you can most of the time outscore people if you can get a couple of stops here and there throughout the game. And also staying injury-free. That's going to be a key as well. So these guys are veterans. They are veterans. So all veterans know you can't hang out all night long. Can't hang out all night long. I started singing right there. All night long. Who's that, Lionel Richie? We can't do that, right? We can't stay out all night long, Hawks. You guys on a great pace. Now look at Jonathan. Yeah. All night long. All night. Yeah. Let me stop. But the Hawks are rolling, man. I like it. I like it. I like it. Again, they just got to keep that thought. Just do the right things. Do the right things. Do your job. Whatever they got to say to themselves, create a mantra and just go with it, man. Go with it, okay? And but right now, I like what I see. And I heard someone say this in business, and I think it's the same thing in sports. They say that first sale, once you get that first sale, and you probably can contest to this, Jonathan. Once you make that first sale, oh, it's downhill from there because now you know what to do. You learn from the previous sale that helps you get better each sale. We said as far as defensive backs, we said just catch that first interception. Catch that first interception. and the rest gonna roll. So I think it's the same thing in basketball. Make that first shot, you're gonna start draining them. You're gonna start draining them. So as long as they keep that mindset, I don't think this is a flash in the pan.
Okay, once again, Todd throwing what we know here as shade on our Atlanta Hawks. He says, no ring. He said, Coach, too soft. All right, well, Todd, I'm gonna play back something here. I'm gonna see if I got this this clip from Coach Nate. And this was after the Hawks lost a bad game at home where they looked somewhat lethargic. Now, I know Coach, his idea of speaking harshly about his team is different than others. But let's see if we can listen to see if what Coach thinks about his team's bad play before this big-time 3-game winning streak.
We didn't play defense, so there was no energy, there was no urgency from us on the defensive end of the floor. I didn't think there was much urgency from us on the offensive end of the floor. We wasn't running our sets with pace. Pretty much we was kind of going 3/4 speed, walking through our sets on the offensive end of the floor. And when we did get open looks, we didn't make those shots. So it's just got to be more urgency on both ends of the floor.
Say though, Coach Nate knew what time it was. But meanwhile, let's see what happens and the difference in the press conference from Hawks players after the big 19-point win over the Bucks. Let's go to our team capitan, the new man in town, Mr. DeJounte Murray. Let's see what he had to say.
They had like 3 threes in the first quarter. You guys were able to shut them down to 22 points in the second, 22 in the third, and 18 in the fourth. Where did you see the shift, and what was that shift that you guys made, especially on the defensive side?
I mean, basketball is a game of runs, and like I kept telling the group, like they made their run. It was making a bunch of threes. It ain't gonna be that way, the whole night. So we gotta continue to fight, and just fight, and it'll go our way.
How was it for you?
What do you guys think about our new captain's demeanor? A lot of people feel that he's kind of the missing ingredients for the Hawks. He got kind of a little edge to him. Tyrone, what do you think?
Well, you know what? The first thing that I think about, Jonathan, whenever someone comes in and challenges you, whether it's a player, your teammate, or a coach, you normally see it on the defensive side, okay? Because offense, let's go ahead and let's face it. Offense, it's more calm. You got to be collected, okay? Defense, that's when you can just let your aggression out, okay? That's why I say you start to see that change on defense, the aggressiveness. So what do I see about the Hawks? Blocks and steals. That's where the aggression comes in, okay? And the Hawks are in the top 10 when it comes to blocks and steals. So, again, they keep the offense going and continue to elevate that aggressiveness, blocks, steals, defensive rebounds. Then, yeah, like I said, all you need is a couple of blocks here, a couple of steals there, create a couple of turnovers there, and you keep that offensive mindset going. Then, yes, find the open man. Play as a team, and they will win.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was very impressed. I mean, just very impressed, especially with apparently Nate now playing the backups. The Hawks' second team was just, they were off the chain. Speaking of that, let's go to the guy that had the biggest plays of the game against Giannis. Let's listen to the Big O, Mr. Akungro, and see what he has to say and some of his comments.
Just what did you see as a defensive unit, as a team coming together to shut down some of the best players in the NBA?
They were spraying us in the first half, and all these threes. So, in the locker room, we just, buckled down, told ourselves that we have to better defense, be more assertive on that end, and so we did.
Every time you go up against Giannis, you really do a great job defending a guy like that. What is it about these big matchups that you really just take advantage?
I just live for the moment. A marquee player like that, probably the best player in the NBA. You live for moments like that, so. I just knew that I had to, be at my best tonight.
Yeah, it's only one game, but definitely I was impressed. People like, Tree, you smiling? Are you happy? I see the wheels turning.
I always laugh because last season you kept talking about how Coach would not play the backups, and you wanted him to play those young guys so bad. And I kept telling you that, in my opinion, he wasn't playing them because they weren't ready, because he sees them in practice every day. So the fact that he's playing young guys now shows you that it's not that he just doesn't play young guys. He plays the young guys that he feel are ready to play, which is what I thought it was. So I'm happy that he's playing the young guys because, of course, you have them on the team to give them an opportunity, and you'll never know. Just like what Tyrone was saying earlier, the players have to stay healthy. But we know that in the NBA, there's going to be some injuries. That's just inevitable, right? So with him getting these young guys experience now, later on, when it comes closer to the playoff times, and if they're in a play-in or whatever, these young guys will have that experience, and I think they'll be a bigger part of the game and really help the team win. So I think that it's definitely a bonus for the Hawks, and I know that you're very happy to see it.
You already know, because I've been preaching. And here's the thing: it's not just me. If you go on any of the Hawks pages, everybody says the same thing. But at the end of the day, it is great. And speaking of a new kid in town, how about the rookie AJ Griffin lighting up for 24 points? And you know the preacher likes to hear this. Here's AJ now.
Before you in your young NBA career, what have you learned through these first 10 games in the NBA?
I learned a lot of patience, just being able to make the most of each day. That's what, my dad loves to say, just make the most of each day, be able to, coming in with that mindset of getting better each day. You never know when your time is coming. So just be able to stay ready and just, really all glory to God, be able to, just be able to, overcome those obstacles. So, yeah.
I was right there. I'm about to say, amen. Well, actually,
I love it. I still, to this day, I always say Cam Reddish is the perfect example of staying ready so that you don't have to get ready. Cam Reddish stayed ready. When his time came, he showed out. So perfect example of staying ready. So I love that he has that mentality of just being ready and staying ready because, like you said, you never know when your number is going to be called.
You don't, and very pleased. And we'll probably be showing it in some other broadcasts. But yeah, got a chance to ask him a question. He talked about quite a bit about how the Lord had a big impact in his life. So that, I did in fact at the end of that question he answered me, it kind of paused for a second. I just one big amen. I started laughing. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just it is. I like to see this team. One of the themes that kind of was there was the teams not being afraid. As a matter of fact, Coach Bud, when we got a chance to listen to him, he said that Giannis actually respects the Hawks quite a bit because they're one of the few teams that look like they're not scared when they play them. They go right at them. And Tyrone, how important is that for you not to be scared?
Well, I'll say this: it's scared. I'm gonna take your word, scared, and I'm gonna actually put it towards free throw shooting. The other reason why I think the Hawks can amass a lot of wins. When they go to the free throw line, okay, just looking at numbers, okay, the Hawks are actually like 5th in the NBA overall when it comes to team free throws. Those are the easy shots. That's just like in football. You hit the extra point, get the extra point. It's free, okay. So they are very high, 5th in the NBA when it comes to free throw. Those are easy, non-contested shots. Make those shots, and you give yourself an opportunity to win. So as long as they can continue to play team ball, and like you say, don't be afraid. Go out there with a mentality. Make the easy shots, the free throws. And actually, they're not shooting a lot of three-pointers as I look as well. They're like at the bottom of the NBA when it comes to like shooting a lot of free throws. We know who is number one when it comes to shooting those, not free throws, but three-pointers. We know who's up top with that, and that's Tree's team, the Golden State Warriors. So they're gonna put up some threes, But the Hawks, when you look at it, they actually looking at the list. The Hawks are 26th out of 30 teams when it comes to 3-point shots attempted. So that tells me that coach is making them play not only in the paint, but they're running plays to get easy shots and they're not having to shoot it from the 3-point line. So there's a lot of things to look at when it comes to the Hawks. And, like Tree say, Coach McMillan is saying, Nate McMillan is saying that, these younger guys are beginning to see what we're doing here. We're not just going to jack up 3-pointers. Maybe that's what they were doing, Jonathan. The young guys get out there and they trying to shoot up threes. And Coach Nate said, no, we're not going to play that type of basketball. So, but nevertheless, I like what the Hawks are doing.
Yeah. I like what they're doing too. I like what y'all two doing too, getting on me about not playing them young guys. That's all right though. That's okay. I feel that this is important for y'all to put me on blast. No, I'm just joking. At the end of the day, really, I think everybody's excited. I think that the young guys clearly do look ready. And a lot of them have taken a page out of Cam Redish's book, hit on the head. I mean, they're like, hey, look, we don't know when our number's going to be called. And really, the Hawks are really have a great advantage because they literally almost have like two starting fives. Because literally, you can put an all-star point guard on one team, an all-star point guard on the second team. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, just if they continue to do this, they're going to do some big things. Go ahead, Tree.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. I said, yeah, that is.
Yeah, now, even though Todd says they're not impressed, Todd, I don't care, baby, because I'm impressed. You didn't come on to a game, spend your money, man, and come on to a game. Yeah, just, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm feeling some extra love. You're right. People could say, okay, well, Rev, you feeling love because you got your official media credentials. I am. They ain't treat me like the Falcons. I'm just saying. And Falcons, y'all keep this on. I'm gonna put you on blast. Cause I'm saying, why is the preacher not there? And I covered Super Bowls. I've covered you. Let me I talk about that right now. Amen. All right, we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna shift to the NFL. Crazy stuff going on. You're gonna hire an analyst and an ex-player to be your coach. Well, we're gonna talk about that when we come back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Please don't go nowhere. We'll be back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, guys, we're back here. Right next to me is the Queen, Miss Tree Dolman. Right underneath the both of us is the champion, Mr. Tyrone Poole. All right, before we talk NFL, all right, what do you guys think about what we saw up in Athens with the Bulldogs? I think sent a message to all the college football, putting the beat down on the Tennessee Volunteers. What do you guys think? Can anybody beat Georgia? Miss Tree, what do you think?
Of course. Yes.
All right. Well, since you said that so confidently, who would be your pick to knock off the Bulldogs? I already know, but go ahead.
I mean, hello, Michigan.
Oh, there we
Michigan
go.
would knock them off, and so would Ohio State if they played them. So, I mean, yes, they can be beaten.
Well, Tyrone, you already know when the woman gets their head wobbling like this, you in trouble. Tree got all she said. You, in other words, you like your Michigan blogger who said, we want a rematch with the boys from Peach State. We want all that smoke.
We want all the smoke.
I got to put them on, baby. You want all that smoke. Tyrone, what you think about the Bulldogs' performance, especially on defense? What do you think about those guys?
Again, I think I might have said it last Tuesday, but Georgia, they were ranked up there very well defensively. And I am a strong advocate that a defense, I use the word cheater. I said, if you a great defense will stop a great offense any day of the week. And if you let them boys stay rested, they would put pressure on their offense all day long. And when I looked at the game, Georgia was already up like 21 points, or so to speak. So again, the intangible is what we forget: coaching. Okay, so you can have all the great players in the world, but if you don't know their strengths and if you don't know how to call plays in a sequence, I don't care. You're not gonna win because you're gonna always end up calling the wrong play. That is in the wrong situation. So I think Kirby Smart, he's been around Nick Saban a whole lot. He's been around, that tree. So he's been in a situation, no pun intended, tree, Mr.
Yeah, not our tree.
Yeah, not our tree. But Kirby Smart has been around winning programs. He's been around high situations, high drama. Okay. It just so happened that the situation that most people think about when it comes to Kirby, he can't get over the hump. He goes against his teacher. And of course, Nick Saban not going to teach him everything. But if you take Kirby Smart, you go up against some of the other foes that he doesn't have to worry about. Yeah, I think Kirby Smart is that intangible, and his coaching staff is that intangible. So right now, Michigan and Ohio State, yeah, they are very vulnerable teams. I hate the fact that they got to play each other. I would rather for them to play each other in the playoffs instead of the actual regular season. But even if they play in the regular season and one of those teams lose, I think they should not drop out. Because to me, the playoffs is all about the best teams. And sometimes two best teams go against one another, So it's unfortunate they still got to play each other. But hopefully those decision makers will say that these teams, Ohio State or Michigan, is still one of the top 4 teams in college football and put them in the playoffs regardless.
Yes, and I hope it's Michigan. Go Blue.
And there it is. And Todd said, yeah, the boys speak of Michigan. Yes, at the end of the day, it's the Wolverines. Don't sleep on these guys. They have a very good team. They can run the ball very effectively. They have a good defense, as Tyrone pointed out last week. And they got some get back in them. They want to get some get back. Now, of course, they got to get by Ohio State, who wants some get back on them. But the bottom line is, yeah, so I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, you could see a Big Ten SEC Final Four. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but you could see that.
Let me ask you guys, do you guys think TCU is, Texas Christian University? You think they are a true 9-0 playoff best of the best team, or do you think there's some 9-1 teams or 1-loss teams or 2-loss teams that are probably better than TCU?
So I've been going back and forth ever since I saw the new top 25 and they put them at number 4. And I honestly haven't watched them this season much, so I can't really speak on it, but I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. But I do think that when you are undefeated, that does carry weight. But then we also know that when you play tougher teams, even if you have 1 loss, then that carries weight. Your schedule carries the most weight. And so I don't know. I'm still going back and forth with that one. I really am. But that's something I've been thinking about ever since I saw that they were number 4 over some teams that do have one loss, and I think have a stronger program and a stronger schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's like they talk about in boxing all the time. They always say you can always fight and you can only beat who they put in front of you. Now, of course, now boxing sometimes I get some little slim shady and set some of these matches up. But I mean, on just if you say on a nothing fixed going on, TCU is not that they can, but they have to do this 3, 4, 5 years in advance to try to schedule teams outside of their conference. They got a conference schedule. They already have, a lot of these schedules have been set up 5, 6, 8, 10 years beforehand, so they can play what's in front of them. And they've won every game, so they have to have at least some
5,
consideration.
6, 8, 10 years before.
Yeah, a lot of times your scheduling is done years in advance.
10 years in advance, though.
No, I'm talking about if you're looking at teams outside of your conference. I'm not at least 5 to 8. I mean, seriously. I mean, like Georgia and Notre Dame. You laughing, but okay.
No, I'm sorry. Don't take my laughing as a bad thing. I always laugh.
No, but it's usually laughing at me. So I'm saying I feel sad. No, I'm just joking. No, but at the end of the day, they do have to kind of pick these games up way in advance because of, I guess, I don't know, maybe scheduling concerns, travel. I don't know how they do it, but like I remember when they talked about Georgia and Notre Dame, that was like 4 or 5 years before the game was actually played. And everybody's, oh man, we can't wait. And, finally kind of came about. But yeah, they have to kind of schedule those way out in advance. But I don't know. To me, I think that the level of competition, I think if you put TCU in the Big Ten, you put them in the SEC, I can't say they'd be an undefeated team.
No, I agree with, because I'm like, I'm looking offensively. In the nation, they racking up yards and everything like that, where they scoring like 43 some odd points a game. But then when you look at them defensively, I still believe when you get into the playoffs, I don't care what sport it is, defense has to get you over that hump. Offense will get you there, but defense is going to put that hardware in your building or on your stand or whatever. And I just don't see TCU with a defense that if they went up against the likes of a Michigan, Ohio State, man, come on. I'm like, they're gonna run rush shot over TCU. And TCU were trying to stay back there and throw the ball to stay in the game. And then that's when everything is going to collapse and people are gonna say, what are they doing in the playoff? So you gotta have both sides. But I definitely think defense, they're lacking on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said again, just that caliber of play. And you have to play basically a pretty good team every week, especially in SEC. You're playing a pretty good team almost every week. So yeah, I can't see them going undefeated in any one of those two conferences. And I really do believe that we will have a shot. And this is why everybody's going to say after this year, oh, this is why we went to 12 teams, because the idea of two teams from two conferences playing in there, just having like this little personal Final Four. Yeah, I think people are feeling some kind of way because we've already had at least one or two occasions we've had two SEC teams in there. So, yeah, I think that's the driving force for trying to get in this kind of 12-team playoff. Let's go to our buddies here, Fantasy Football GOAT Strategies. So, yeah, Ty, you picked it right last week with UGA over Tennessee after he's some crow on that one game. He's like,
hey, defense wins, man. Defense, Tennessee, I looked at a little bit of the game, and yeah, Georgia came ready to play. So, Stetson Bennett, he was the key in my mind. If he brought it together, then yeah, Georgia, yeah, because the defense, Georgia, Kirby Smart gonna have that defense ready. So Stetson Bennett, he was the hinge that the door of winning swung on, and he did what he had to do.
no doubt, Georgia played an outstanding game. Obviously, the game was at home. It was reported earlier today that they set an all-time record for loudest recorded stadium in a game. They hit 137 decibels at one point, which, yeah, I'm thinking your eardrum's about to pop if you're in a situation like that. So let's go to social media one more time. Say Coach P's had meltdown. Okay, we'll talk about the NFL in just a second, Todd. Just hang tight. Yeah, so like I said, I think you're going to possibly see two SEC teams in. And I tell you something, if all these teams run the table, whether it be, Alabama and Tennessee and all the rest of these guys, Tennessee has a shot of doing what Alabama did a couple years ago, not playing in any conference title game and getting to that championship. Because think about it, they will only have one loss, and it'll be against the best team in the country at their spot.
Wait.
What happened? Did I do something wrong?
One loss against the best team in the country.
Okay, let me slow down and go back. Tennessee, if they run the table, they won't be able to go to the SEC title game because they're in the Eastern Division and Georgia has the tiebreaker since they beat them. Okay, so conceivably, Georgia could play a one-loss or even a two-loss team from the West, beat them. That means they're not going. But Tennessee might be able to sneak in because they could say, hey, our one loss is against the team at the time was basically considered the best team in the country.
Got you.
And we had to go do it in Athens. So why shouldn't we go? And they would have a legitimate spot. So that's what I'm saying. You could have a Final Four that goes Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Georgia.
No, that's true. That definitely could happen.
Everybody could be feeling some kind of way, but I mean, because again, if you look around and say, okay, are you going to take let's just say if you have an undefeated Michigan, undefeated Georgia, wouldn't you want to look at the two teams and say, okay, well, our only loss was against those two teams? I'm just saying. So you might see that. All right, yeah. Let's go here and shift gears. The NFL.
I gotta say this real quick, Jonathan. You talked about the noise decibel.
Yes,
I just looked that up, and you said they got the 137.
I think it was, yes, sir.
Let's let people know what that environmental sound is like. 140 decibels is a jet engine. Okay, at 100, if you're 100 feet from a jet engine, that's 140 decibels. So if they got it to 137, that's like standing close to a jet engine about 100 feet away. So that's pretty loud, man. That's pretty loud.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that. Yes, a little too much for the kid. All right, shift to the NFL. Certainly we know the Falcons has been like riding a roller coaster. And the rest of the NFL, some shocks. Okay, are you guys, what do you think about the Jets who have seemingly come out of nowhere and knocked off what a lot of people felt was one of the best teams in the league in the Buffalo Bills. Are you buying the Jets? You think the Jets are a legitimate playoff contender? Tree, what do you think?
I am buying the Jets. I don't think they're a playoff contender.
Whoa. Tree says you're good, but not that good. Tyrone, what do you think about those New York Jets?
Yeah, I think what's making the Jets go is the defense. They have a very good defense, and um, of course, the offense. Again, the offense is only as good as the leader, and I think I'm buying them. I'm buying them. They will have a good note, a good season. And But I don't know if they how deep they will go into the playoff. But the gang green, yeah, Jets.
Jets.
What is his name? Fire. What's the guy be up there with the J-E? Yeah, Jet. He get him fired. Fire Bill, that's his name. Got the fire help me. Yeah, I know he's happy right now. Yeah, I know he's happy.
Well, I'm happy for Coach Salah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's what drives it. Yep, he's a defensive coach. He was a former DC up at San Francisco, and they have gotten.
And he's from Michigan. The state of Michigan, not the university.
I knew there was some extra reason for the shine for Mr. Salah. He is a homer from the Michigan. That's why extra love from the Queen. All right, let's go here to our man Todd talking about our Falcons. He said, Coach Pease, he said a meltdown at the presser. I think he's heading back to retirement home. Yeah, and the only reason we didn't bring on D-Led today because the Falcons have, and Tyrone, you've experienced this, that Thursday night game, all your preparation stuff is all compressed. D-Led has to be on the plane, also has to do his 9 a.m. show, so we did not ask him to come on. Hopefully we'll have him on next week to talk about what could be a Falcons win. Tyrone, what do you think about that defense down the stretch? I mean, even without the big guns, I mean, San Diego's got one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks around. Justin Herbert, that guy can sling it. I mean, I was watching the ball come out of his hands, buddy boy, he woo. But what do you think? Bad defense or just bad breaks for the Falcons?
Injuries, point blank, injuries. That's there's a reason why they call them starters. There's a reason why they call them starters. A reason why they call them backups. So that's why you got to have great quality players. So if somebody goes down, somebody has to step up. Will the caliber of play drop? Yes, it will. Again, it's the reason why they're starters, the other people are backups, but only by much, but still there's a reason. But I think, when I look at the Falcons, I'm like, you still can win if you can get off the field on third down. And I still see the struggle there. And then offensively, you got to be able to throw the ball. People eventually, again, like I said, when you start going up against good teams, and I think the NFL right now is so flatline. And when I say flatline, everybody is almost like, could beat anybody right now. It's not like back in the day, it used to be dominant. You just knew this team right here, they were going to win every Sunday, so to speak. But now it's like what the movie is, any given Sunday. So, the Falcons could bounce back and get on a 3-game winning streak, man. That's just how the NFL is right now. But if they're going to do that, Marcus Mariota, he has to throw the ball a little bit better. If you look at the total yards passing, period, that the Falcons, can't compare with the Hawks yet because the Hawks they're on a winning streak. So, but when you look at the Falcons, you look at just the passing yards, period. There's only 32 teams in the NFL, right? They are 29th. Okay, so I do believe in a balanced offense. So right now, I don't think you can win too many more games unless you get to the end of the season and you playing your next 4 games or against teams who know they're not going to the playoffs. Okay, then you probably can squeak out a couple of victories, depending on who comes to play the hardest, because all the players and coaches are already thinking about vacation. And so, but if they got the last 4 games against playoff teams, then, I don't see them, finishing too good. But right now, like I say, anything can happen. So, but injuries, man, injuries.
Tree, what do you think about those Falcons? Do you think that they still are in the running, still got a chance to maybe make the playoffs?
I don't. But like I said, the Falcons definitely have surprised me, and I'm seeing a lot of great positive things from them, and especially on the defensive side. So I'm very proud and wanting them to continue to do well. Like I said, I'm happy that they shocked me. I picked them to win 4 games, maximum 5, and they're already at 4 wins, and you just never know. I'm pretty sure that they will get a couple of more before the season's out. But yes, I definitely do think that they are showing some very promising improvements from last year, and just different things, even with sacks. But I just don't see them going to the playoffs. I think that Tom Brady is going to start getting some wins with the Buccaneers and different things. But I don't know. We'll see.
And I say this too. I'm looking at the playoffs picture right now. The Hawks I keep saying the Hawks, the Falcons. The Falcons are sitting in 8th spot. So there's only 7 teams that go to the playoffs, mind you. And the 49ers are the 7th team. And I think the 49ers going to catch fire in a few. Okay, so I don't, I think that the 49ers are going to move up. The Giants, if they continue to play ball like they playing, are good. I think the Cowboys are good. Dak Prescott, he's actually had an opportunity to sit on the sideline and see what it's like to be threatened by somebody that possibly not going to take your position, but just to see somebody play and he misses. So I think Dak is going to ignite the Cowboys. The Buccaneers, I think Tom is saying, hey, he's already said he's going to come back next year. So I think he wants to finish out. Yeah, he said he's going to come back next year. So, and then you got the Seattle Seahawks. I just think, they're doing great things up there. Minnesota playing lights out. Can't nobody cover Jefferson. And I think Jalen Hurts got the Eagles are doing very well. So the Falcons, they would have to win out, I think. And they would have to see if the 49ers, Giants, Cowboys, Buccaneers, Seahawks just fall off the map. But I do think they'll finish up good. And plus, you got the Washington Commanders. And the Rams. So again, that may be tough for them teams. Falcons, Commanders, Rams, Saints. So I don't know. The Falcons will probably end up feeling good about themselves this year, but playoffs, unless them teams I just named above them fall off, I don't know. They'll be that close, but won't make it.
Wow. That's right. Put that screen up. Put that screen up. Put that screen up. You got 4 boxes that got W's in them, baby.
4.
4 wins.
Yes. So the Falcons have 4. We'll see how far they keep going. And then with my Detroit Lions, we got another win. Yay!
My other favorite team, the Green Bay Packers. And guys, do you think Aaron Rodgers is done? Because he looks like he's missing his number 1 receiver, because he does not look like the same quarterback anymore. Could Rodgers be all done?
No, he's definitely not done. He just got the MVP last year. He's not done.
Well,
how quickly people give up on greatness.
Listen, I want the guy to come back. I like the Packers when I was a little kid. That's what I grew up, rooting for. So I'd love to see him do it. But right now, I guess they just don't have the firepower in place to make it happen, because really it's been offensively. Offensively, they look very, very bad. I was shocked. 9 points.
Why is it that they have to look so bad against the Lions? Could it not just be that the Lions finally showed up and played great defense, and that's why they look bad? I'm tired of hearing people say that, like it was just Green Bay just doing all this stuff. No, the Lions played great defense. So give my team some props. They finally played some great defense and did what they needed to do.
Yeah. Well, I guess the reason why I said that, Tree, is because you are aware that coming into this game, that one of the worst defense in the NFL. That's what I'm just saying. I get it, but that's not their trademark. Now, but on the other side, their offense, they didn't do that much in that game either. But the key thing is they came up with what? The W. So kudos.
We got the W.
That's all that counts right there.
We're 2-6.
2-6, 2 wins. All right, my man Todd. It says here that Marcus Mariota missed wide open players and overthrew Pitts. He can't go on with this level of play. Well, now I will say this much now. To Marcus's defense, there were several drops by wide open Falcons receivers early in the game, and even Pitts himself. Tyrone, you've seen this happen before, where the field man jumps up and tackles you. So there was a play where the ball's put out there, and I think that had Mr. Pitts not been tackled by the grass, he might have been able to make a play on the ball. Football fantasy GOAT strategies. Let's see what he has to say here. He said, "You see, Justin Fields has caught fire." Right. Well, okay. Now here's what I'm gonna say something here really quickly. Do you have to pass the ball to win? Obviously, you can't just completely run. But to me, it's all about the coaches using the players and the skill sets that they have best. Me personally, if Mariota cannot make the play with the air, let him make the play with his feet. I don't care if you rush for 300 yards and he throws for 100, as long as you win. We're not here for style points. Everybody, oh yeah, I don't care what he does. If they did what they did a couple of weeks ago, rush for 200 something yards, Mariota runs for 70, he only throws for 120 yards, but he throws for a touchdown pass or two, and they win. That's it. I don't care. I really don't. I mean, I just want to see him win. If you have to do, Tyrone, you remember that series they had? They ran the ball 11 straight times. Because if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If they can't stop the run, just keep running the ball. You're trying to win games.
Again, borrowing the words from Bill Parcells. This is why you lift those weights. This is when they were actually, the New York Giants were in a playoff situation, I believe. But again, all I'm trying to say is you won't win that Lombardi trophy like that, buddy.
Oh, no, that I agree with.
So if you try to appease people just to win games, then yeah, continue to do that. And you'll finish your 17 games and you'll go home, okay? But you will not put a Lombardi trophy wherever the address is for Arthur Blank. He will not put a Lombardi trophy by running the ball with his quarterback, okay? I promise you. It hasn't been done yet, and I don't think it will ever be done. You got to throw the ball. You got to run the ball. You got to play great defense. That's how you win championships.
And you would know because you are a two-time Super Bowl champion.
I seen it in person. I seen it in action. I seen the cook when he flipped them eggs. I seen the cook when he took them pancakes and threw it up and how it landed in that plate. So hey, I know you cannot win championship with just running the ball with the quarterback. That's what you got running backs for. Okay, all right.
Well, they got to do something. Or okay, what do you think about the idea of them benching Mariota and putting Ritter in? They say, look, if your goal is not to get to postseason, then what are we doing here? You might as well put the other guy in.
I think that's a great choice. I'll go ahead, Tree.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say if your goal isn't to get to postseason, why are you playing?
Right. So my point is, if you know Marcus Mariota cannot throw the ball well, then to me, like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dumb about this. First thing, and maybe that's why they won't let me in. Because the first thing I would ask is, okay, it seems to be a timing issue. How much are you guys practicing one-on-one like the greats have done with their wide receiver and quarterback combos outside of practice? Maybe they are, but it doesn't look like it. When I watch these guys play, it looks like preseason. It looks like they're out of sync most of the time. Either he's overthrowing, underthrowing. They said the other day, Pitts ran a route that wasn't the right route. So I'm thinking to myself, geez, we're like 9 games in. Either A, there's a disconnect somewhere, or B, you need to say, hey, you know what? Like Tyrone said, we can't win with our quarterback running the ball 8, 9, 10 times a game, even though he might get 60 or 70 yards. We need a guy who can throw. Okay, great. We'll put Ritter in.
Well, I tell you what, if he keep running the ball, and I'll be like Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say about that. But what I'll say before I say that is if they keep running Mariota, the clock is ticking when Ritter will get in for this season. So either way, you either put him in and finish out the season with Ritter, let him get ready for 2023 season, or you keep running Mariota, and eventually Ritter will get in. Because somebody will come up and catch Mariota. And yes, it's going to be ugly. All right. Remember Drew Bledsoe? Yeah. So
wow.
It's a matter of time. Okay. Keep on running.
All right. Todd believes that this is an urban legend that's been going around Atlanta for a long time. He said, Preacher, I'm done. The Falcons are hexed. He said, this is what happens when you build a new stadium on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, I got one for you guys. Switch gears. The Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are 8-0 right now. 8-0. Okay, they got Washington Commanders coming up. Indianapolis coach just got an interim coach. Okay, that could be an easy win. The Packers, you say that Aaron Rodgers is not happy. He's missing, people up there. So at what point, what game do you think, can the Eagles go 17-0 or will they flunk out? They got the Commanders, the Colts. This is their upcoming schedule. The Commanders, the Colts, the Packers, the Titans, the Giants, the Bears, the Cowboys, the Saints, and then the Giants.
Yeah, I definitely do not think they will go undefeated.
They got no shot. When I say no shot, zero shot.
But I do want to say, since we're talking about teams that are 8-0, can we talk about my Vikings, who are 7-1?
I knew it was coming.
You know it's coming. Woo! Skull Vikings.
Yeah.
You see it, 7-1. Okay, I just had to put that up there.
I was waiting on that tweet because the Vikings are balling out. I mean, they're playing excellent brand of football right now. Kudos to those guys up north. Skull. Yeah, 7-1. That's no joke.
Yeah.
That's no joke. Yeah, but I mean, this is what you're seeing, guys. NFL, if your team can get some traction, there's a lot of parity this year, more so than ever before. So that's it. Speaking of that's it, we got to go. All right, guys, you know how we do it. Before we let you get off the air, we like to make sure that everybody knows how to find out more about our host or our guest. So one last thing, we'll get our guy up there. There it is. Boom, boom. Eagles, Cowboys. All right, we're out of there. All right, Tyrone Poole. Forget about all that stuff because the floor is yours, Mr. Tyrone Poole.
Well, I tell you what, those Philadelphia Eagles, I like them. But also, I'd like for you guys to go to Tyrone Poole 38 all social media. Check me out. Get inspired every Wednesday live on YouTube. But again, Tyrone Poole 38 all social media, TyronePoole38.com on the internet. Appreciate it, Jonathan. Thank you, Tree. Everybody, have a great wherever you are, night or day.
Amen. Miss Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. 2 announcements. 1, check out elshimon.com. We do have our fall candles on the website, and they smell amazing. And also, let's not forget to check out makingabetterme.org. We have our turkey giveaway that's coming up where we are feeding 200 families turkey and the trimmings for Thanksgiving. And you can go to makingabetterme.org if you want to donate or be a sponsor or just volunteer to help out. And you can find me on all social media at Purple Diva 13. Except for Twitter, I'm the Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022.
There's guys, you see it below there, makingabetterme.org. Amen. I know I get it beforehand. All right, I'm not the Purple Diva, so let me go ahead and change that real quick. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, so if you want to find out more about me, again, you can send me an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or you can give me a call directly on the cell, 678-410-9833. We're looking for sponsors. We're also looking for great stories in and around the world of sports. All right, guys, before I leave in the broadcast, I want to encourage you, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today, because time is winding up, and nobody loves you like Jesus, and he's the one that died for your sins. And if you believe that, repent of your sins, that in fact you too can be a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. All right, guys, until the next time when we get together once again, I'd like to say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long.